everybody out there watching on this channel, and welcome back to Thrash Reviews, where yours truly, Thrash Maniac 99, continues to review upcoming hard rock and heavy metal albums in the calendar year of 2016. As I'm going to turn off my fan, hope the sound changes a little bit more, but yeah, so for today's review, I am reviewing the newest album from Washington metal legends Metal Church, and their album called 11. But anyways, Metal Church is a band from Washington State that started in the early 1980s, and they're considered one of the potential pioneers of the thrash metal genre. But to me, they kind of combined thrash metal with traditional heavy metal in order to create their own unique brand of power metal in some sense. So they're like a three-way combo of old school metal, thrash, and power metal. They had some classic records out in the 80s, such as their debut album, and The Dark, which is an essential thrash power metal album from '86, including songs such as Watch the Children Pray, and a bunch of other great tracks that back in the 80s were big hits for them, like Badlands was on Headbangers Ball back in the day. But over the years, they kind of went through a lot of lineup changes, where the only original member of the band that I know of that's still there is Kurt Vanderhoof, their guitarist. And he revamped the band a few years ago with an album called Generation Nothing back in 2013. And now they are back this year in 2016 with a new album called 11. So let's go through this album. So the first track I want to talk about is the opening track, Reset, which was the shortest track of the album at under 4 minutes in length. And this was a thrash tune that had a bit of a kind of a hint of modern day social commentary involving, video games and stuff, but also taking the idea of like a reset button put on top of like real life issues. And that's an interesting concept of a lyrical idea for a song like Reset. The music on this song was excellent. I really enjoyed this track. Thought it was a great way to kick off this album. Let's continue. As I'm coming up here to switch it over to a different screen so I can keep referencing, but the next track I want to talk about is Sky Falls In. This was one of the longest tracks of the album, second longest at a little over 7 minutes. The track before, Signal Path, was the longest track of the album, about 10 seconds longer than Sky Falls In. But with Sky Falls In, it was the better of the two because of the fact that they incorporated a little bit of that power metal aspect I was talking about, with even a tad bit of progressive structures thrown in there, and it was just one of those songs that just captivates you in some way, shape, or form, and that's how tracks like this should be represented, is to have a little bit of diversity involved, and Metal Church shows that diversity within this song. And then the last track I want to talk about is Blow Your Mind, which is a 6.5 minute track. Kind of that almost similar to like the song Reset. It was a thrashy song. And lyrically this was kind of hokey, but musically it was excellent. But it's still all about the music, not necessarily about the lyrics unless it's really stupid. But this song was an excellent track near the second half of the album. So what's my final verdict on 11 by Metal Church? Well, you had a lot of great songs on this album. The songs such as Reset, Killing Your Time, Signal Path, Sky Falls In, Blow Your Mind, and It Waits. Those were the great tracks on the album. Everything else was decent, but there was one track that kind of lowered the rating of this album, and that was Soul Eating Machine. I just thought it was just becoming a little bit too hokey for my taste, but overall, not a bad album. My final score, 79 out of 100 for 11 by Metal Church. Solid album, but nothing very special. But if you're a fan of what Metal Church has done in the past, you'll probably like this album. But for me, I'm always a guy who looks for a combination of some progressive diversity and repetition within metal. Maybe not progressive diversity, more just traditionally diversity as well as repetition. You do get a mix of that here on this album, but it's only in choice locations, in choice songs. So, for that reason, this album gets a 79 out of 100. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this review. The next one I have planned is, not sure. Because I still got a bunch of albums that came out from a couple weeks ago, and so on and so forth that I haven't checked out yet. Albums like from Caliban, Joe Bonamassa, Ragnarok, Artillery, all those bands, Spiritual Beggars, and Rod and Sound I need to check out. But then also you got this Friday, here in a couple days, 3 big albums. Zakk Wylde's solo album, Deftones' new album, and Eshon's new album. I'm definitely going to try to get through those, hopefully this weekend, and that'll be cool. But anyways, peace out, and have a good day.